friends. In a circle of sound, all our voices will blend as we touch common ground. Woo! Thank you to our beautiful band. We have John Felice with us today, the amazing John Felice, Mike Gruen, and our awesome John Hyde, of course.
Hello. Good morning, Unity on the River. My name is Scott Stringham. I'm your celebrant for today. Thank you. Let's start by taking a few moments by setting our intention as a congregation. That we are an inclusive, vibrant, spiritual community that honors all paths to God. Now together, let's say our mission and our vision statements together. We got the mission up there, yes, together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And now our vision. Together, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Now, let us intentionally repeat the 5 unity principles that are the foundation of the Unity Worldwide Movement. Number 1, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Number 2, the Christ Spirit is in each of us. Number 3, we create our life experiences with our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs. Number 4, prayer is our connection with divine mind. And number 5, it is not enough to know the truth, we must live it. And we'll be talking about number 5 a little later. Now, let's all recite together Unity's core values. We weren't doing this for a while. We've added it in, and it's a way to affirm what we are a stand for here in this community and in the world. So, together, celebration, yes, inspiration, transformation, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Yeah, good job, everybody. I'd like to say hello to everybody who's joining us online. I don't know, do we wave to them now or we do that later? Let's wave to the people online, the streamers out there watching at home, or maybe you're watching the replay later on. Thank you for joining us. We are gratified by your presence. I would also like to extend a warm welcome for anybody who's here at this service for the first time. If you're joining us for the first time and want to receive our weekly newsletter, please fill in the welcome card that is attached to the welcome packet that I hope you got when you came in. And if you didn't, see us out back at the end of the service and we will get you one. After the service today, please join us downstairs for hospitality and friendly conversation and really good food down there. They do a good job. After service today, if you are streaming and are not signed up for our weekly newsletter, please type your email address in the chat box or simply visit our website and fill out the form. The website is unityontheriver.org. We have a newsletter, comes out on Friday. It just basically says what the service is going to be that Sunday, any announcements, any events that are going on. And now I'd like to invite Jen Carey up to do our announcements. Jen.
I stand in the presence. Namaste, everybody. Good morning, Unity on the River, and hello to all our streamers. We already did that. I am excited and I am honored to be here today to share these announcements with our community. We do have a few things going on, so please be patient as I share them with you. Scott Stringham will be speaking. Yay! And maybe running. No, I'm joking. That's going to be following you, I think, forever now. Anybody who was here, Palm? No, it was Easter Sunday. Yes. But Scott Stringham will be speaking with our congregation today about being impeccable with the earth. Together, we'll dive into this concept based on the chapter from the Four Agreements, Be Impeccable with Your Word. So I'm excited about hearing that. We are still looking for a volunteer to help with hospitality setup and cleanup on the fourth Sunday of the month. We have been asking for over a month now, and we need someone to step up into this once per month role. This is an easy way to serve our community. Is there anyone here today that would like, no pressure, is there anyone here today that would like to volunteer for this? Please raise your hand.
Or even two people. If two people, twice, you could split it.
Okay. All right. Listen to your heart. If you feel called, let us know. The spirit groups are now into their second week. All groups are full. Isn't that great? And the feedback has been really positive. Even if you are not in one of the groups, we encourage everyone to read the book on their own. It's the Four Agreements. It will help us continue growing together. And we will be able to be more engaged in the Sunday talks as our weekly speakers cover concepts and chapters from the book over the next month or so. There are a couple of links on our website that you can actually order the book from. On Sunday, May 3rd, after service, there will be tables set up in hospitality showcasing the products and services of members of the Unity Business Alliance, also known as TUBA. For more info, please see Christina Mariah Lucia, there she is right there, or Brad, but Brad's not here today, after service today. On that same day, starting at 12 noon, we will be having a dance party until about 1 o'clock. We are looking for a playlist of songs, so please feel free to add your favorite songs to the list in hospitality. Our Eastern Region consultant, Reverend Stephanie Tsai, will be offering a Zoom-based spiral dynamics class from 9:30 to 12:30 on Saturday, May 16th. There is a suggested love offering for this class, which is $45. For more info, reference our events page on our website. Carol Stringham will be teaching a prosperity class. The curriculum will be based on Edwene Gaines' prosperity principles. After service for 4 consecutive Sundays, beginning May 31st, and will go through June 21st. There are links on our website and in the newsletter to order this book. You don't need to have the book to take the class. It does, however, prepare you for the concepts that will be taught during the class. Please join us next Sunday on May 3rd for Reverend Kelly Russell's talk. People, does everybody know Kelly Russell? Oh. So Kelly Russell was my coach for a long time, and I have to tell you, she teaches a lot from A Course in Miracles, and she helped me break through so many illusions, so many of what I like to call stories. So she's a very, very special person, and I can't think of a better person to be speaking about chapter 4, or the chapter. It's the next chapter. Maybe it's three. The third. Agreement number 2. Whew. Agreement number 2 of the 4 agreements. Do you guys know what it is? Don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. So you can think of the illusions that I had that were personal, that Coach Kelly helped me break through, because nothing is personal. It's a powerful, powerful one. So this is one of the most important chapters of the book. So please make sure you tune in if you're not able to be here in person. As a friendly reminder, sign-up sheets for any and all Unity happenings are located in hospitality on the table right as you walk in. Now it's time for some gratitude. Will the members of our board please stand so now that we can recognize you for all your hard work? Thank you for all that you do. And now I would like to call up our Christian Right, Christian, will you come on up here? Please come up here so you can introduce our special guest. You're welcome.
Thank you for the announcements. Yeah. I stand in the presence. Stay. Good morning, everyone. It's a pretty special day here today. We have some really special guests joining us. And I wanted to introduce them by saying we all know that life can move fast at times and throw some pretty tricky curveballs to us as well. And how we handle those curveballs and who we work with makes a difference in the outcome of how we get through it. You're not alone. You're not on your own. The Emmaus organization is about slowing everything down, creating space to connect, reflect, and grow alongside people who genuinely care. Today's simple. It's a chance for us to pause and be present and maybe take a step forward you didn't even know you needed and be part of something bigger through showing up and serving others. I'd like to welcome up Al Hanscom from Emmaus, please. And everyone else.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you all so much for inviting us and having us be part of your service today, as well as all the information that I have already learned. And it really sinks right in with what we at Emmaus do and what we believe in. My name is Al Hanscom, and I'm joined with my colleagues and partners, Eunice, Matt, and Pauline. And we want to thank you for your support in thinking about us and let you know what is Emmaus and what do we do. And I'll give you the abbreviated version. But Emmaus was founded in 1985 by some grassroots volunteers who had found homeless families sleeping in the park in Haverhill, in the Haverhill community. We created the first family shelter back in 1985, where we housed 7 families. From there, we continued to look at those that were struggling and having difficulties, didn't have supports. So from there, we grew and created the individual shelter known as Mitch's Place. And from there, we continued to look for solutions, helping one family, one individual at a time. And we've created, to date, 100 units of permanent supportive housing for families and individuals. Thank you for that. In addition to that, we've expanded our services to the entire Northeast region. We cover Newburyport, Salisbury, Amesbury, to Haverhill. We partner with some agencies in Lawrence, and we also cover Methuen and Andover. We provide supportive services and connect up with some communities over in the Gloucester area and Peabody-Salem area as well, providing outreach for homeless individuals who are out on the streets. We have a family shelter system which has grown to have 41 units of housing or shelter for families. Shelter is basically saving a life and giving a roof over someone's head and helping them to be able to feel safe again. But our main mission is to take the next step and help them to go back into the community and move into an apartment and feel like they're an active participant in the community and take pride in themselves. And that's what it's all about, because they feel like they've lost everything by the time they come into shelter, right? And so our goal is to be able to help them to step up and feel their self-worth and the dignity that they should always have and never have lost, and move back into their apartments. And so what I will tell you is that today we've successfully rehoused 43 families since July 1st to today and put them back into their apartments. And that is through Amesbury, Salisbury, Haverhill, and Lawrence. It's not just within the units that we have. And that's what it's about. And in addition to that, we've worked with another 45 families who were about to enter into shelter, and we prevented them from entering into shelter by getting them stably housed before they had to give up all of their personal belongings. In addition, we have a 40-bed shelter, emergency shelter, located in Haverhill. and we partnered with the Salvation Army to just provide a little bit of support. They really did all the work when they opened up their emergency shelter this winter here in Newburyport. And we've learned a lot from that. And what we've done is we've partnered with them and come out every 2 weeks meeting with homeless individuals that are here on the streets in Newburyport, providing services and being able to help people get on lists for housing. So what it really is all about is partnering and community engagement and having everybody be an answer and a part of the solution to ending homelessness, helping to end poverty. In addition to that, we also provide emergency food services for people that are within any of our programs. So your participation, your support is helping on many, many, many levels. I could go on and on and on the successes that we get to see every single day. And one of the things I've learned when I was talking with Christian is we all understand the difficulties and the problems that's going on in the world today and what's happening in our communities to an extent. But here at Emmaus, we don't dwell on that. We know it, but we look for the solution and how to elevate and raise people out of that. So I wanted to thank you for being a part of that and supporting Emmaus and also being a part of the solution. So thank you. I'm going to...
As we all know, a percentage of everything that we tithe and donate here at Unity on the River is tithed and donated back out to great organizations like this. We're able to present them with a check today for $1,800. And I want to thank all of you for donating and helping this happen. This is the bigger work that we're supposed to be doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot I was supposed to introduce Namaste. This is the time where we share and see the light in each other. Namaste. Thank you.
Just to inform you that Emmaus House, everyone that you've met up here, will be downstairs for you to say hello to and get, oops, get more information from. So do meet them and get more blessings from them. So, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning, you hovered over the water and broken. Can we start again? Somehow that was like, whoa, there's, okay, let's take a breath. Oh, in the beginning, you hovered over the water. You broke an unbroken silence, then spoke light into darkness, and there was light. In the beginning, we were made from this image. We were naked without shame, till we fell for the darkness, and there was night. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, new every morning. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, new every morning. In the beginning, there was the Word, and it was God, and the Word was with God, and it dwelt among us, and there was life. Oh, in the beginning, consciousness birthed all creation, and we were formed from this loving, and all blessings of this earth, and there was life. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, new every morning. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, new every morning. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, every morning. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, new every morning. At the cross of my heart, where all light becomes love. At the cross of my heart, where all love becomes light. At the cross of my heart, where all love becomes one. Oh, the cross of my heart, at the cross. All mercies are new, all mercies are new, new every morning. Oh, all mercies are new every morning. Blessed be, and so it is.
So I don't know if you know this, but there was this woman who was going in for heart surgery. And she was really scared, and she prayed to God, God, is this going to be it? Am I going to die? And surprisingly, she heard a voice saying, no, you have 41 more years. And she said, oh, thank goodness. And she figures, oh, this is wonderful. So while she was at the hospital, she went ahead and got a facelift and got a tummy tuck and, and a little liposuction and everything. She was feeling really good about herself. And then 2 months later, she got hit by a car and was killed. And she went up to heaven and said, God, what happened? You said I had 41 years. And God looked at her and said, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you. Yes, we can worship God and laugh a little bit too. It's all right. Yes. So I'm Scott Stringham, as you know. And one of my jobs here is I'm the coordinator of the speakers that come and speak here. And we've had some changes and had to make some last minute additions and everything over the last couple of months. And it's been a wonderful service to be able to do that. And I just want to give you guys an update on what's going to be happening over the next few months. We have reinstituted the speaker rotation schedule. And yeah. So Jackie, you saw last week, and she's away now for the summer. She'll be back on September 20th. But in the meantime, I'll be speaking, and Leslie Smith will be back on May 17th. She's back from Florida, so she'll be joining us once again. And Martine will be speaking twice a month, okay? Yeah. She's only going to speak once in May because she was scheduled for Mother's Day, and she is committed to take her mother to a Creole Mass for Mother's Day. That was her mother's request. So we won't be seeing Martine again until May 31st, but then after that, twice a month, second and fourth Sunday of the month. And in the meantime, you see we have Kelly coming next week, and Jen, who did the announcements, will be here in June as a guest speaker as well. So that's exciting. Yeah. So, what? Yes. On Mother's Day, May 10th, Stephanie Roy's back. And one of our most popular speakers, and she will be here for the summer at least, as far as I know. So I know she's got a few dates already booked for over the summertime. So thank you for reminding me of that. Yes. Okay, so as you know, we're studying Don Miguel's book, The Four Agreements. And I was a little put off last week when Jackie Woodside said, well, I met Don Miguel and I hugged Don Miguel, and here's a picture of me with Don Miguel. Well, geez, excuse me, Jackie, where were you in 2016 when Don Miguel Ruiz came to Unity on the River? Who was here and went to that? Yeah, a whole bunch of us. He was here, and he came up and hugged me. I didn't even have to go. I just didn't get a picture of it. It was so shocking, But it was wonderful to have him here. He was speaking at the Omega Institute, and somehow we arranged to have him come here and speak. You were the one who did it? Diane is the one who did it? Yeah. Yeah, what a great event. We got as many people into that sanctuary as the fire code would allow us. and it was a great event. And so we're talking about the first agreement today in that book, which is to be impeccable with your word. And I had a great teacher for many years, over 20 years. Her name was Tony Stone, and she was a metaphysical teacher, worked up in Vermont. And Carol and I would drive up to Vermont every other month and spend a weekend and do classes with her up there. And she gave us these crazy assignments, but it was all about being impeccable with your word. And at the end of the weekend, and all you'd go up there and we'd study, do a book study, and we would make the meals, and we'd clean the bathrooms and mow the lawn and whatever she wanted us to do. And she would sit there in the corner and just watch everybody. And and then when we got together as a group, she would give us coaching, on what she saw. And it was not always comfortable, but it was always, good medicine, as they said. And at the end of the weekend, she would say, anybody want a special assignment for the 2 months before we meet again? And I would always raise my hand, bring it on, And so when she decided she was going to test me on how impeccable I could be with my word, she said, I was writing a play at the time. She said, okay, here's your assignment. Within the next 2 months, you're gonna drive to Nova Scotia by yourself, and she just picked it out randomly, get a room, and spend a week finishing your play, finishing it. So, so I had a business that I had to run. I had all this thoughts in my head about why I couldn't do it. But I'd already raised my hand. I said, whatever she gave me, that was the rule. Whatever she gave you to do, you had to do it. So off I went. I drove to Nova Scotia, which is it's like 1,000 miles. It's like from driving here to Florida. It's almost the same distance. So I did it. I finished the play, and it's still in my filing cabinet there, a play about John Paul Jones that I wrote. But she would give us all kinds of crazy stuff. If you worked with Carol and I, and we send you out and you have to give away dollars to people, to strangers, or sing and make up songs to sing, all these little things. It's all about creating a discipline for yourself that when you say you're going to do something, that you go ahead and do it. There's another example, another great teacher I had about being impeccable with your word. And when I was commuting to work every Monday morning, I would flip on sports radio on Monday morning because they always had an interview with Tom Brady when he was playing. And he would talk a lot more about football. And the jocks who were interviewing him, they just wanted to know, what are you going to do against Pittsburgh or something like that. But he would throw in these little gems of wisdom in these interviews, in his 5-minute little interview on Monday morning. And then one time he said, they said, what are you reading, Tom? And he says, oh, I read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. In fact, I read it at least once a year. And I was like, whoa, I knew that book, but I hadn't read it. So I picked it up and started reading it. And then for this talk, so I know he read it regularly, and then he mentioned it in future interviews as well. So in preparing for this talk, I went on AI, and I said, pull out quotes from Tom Brady, from podcasts, articles, interviews, anything you can find about being impeccable with your word, and include anything about Don Miguel Ruiz, possibly as well. And 30 seconds later, I got like 5 pages of quotes. So I took that and I condensed it down. If Tom Brady was here and he was going to address this group about being impeccable with your word, what would he say? So these are all his actual words. I just rearranged them to make it into a talk. Being impeccable with your word for me means aligning language, intention, and action. It's about speaking truthfully and using words to create, not to destroy. I treat promises to myself and others as contracts. If I say I'll show up, train, lead, or be ready on game day, I follow through. That discipline builds trust with teammates and coaches and creates a culture where everyone can perform at their best. Practically, it looks like this. Clear commitments. I make concise goals and tell people what I'll do, and then I do it. No vague excuses. Number 2, positive self-talk. I don't allow destructive internal narration. My words about myself are focused on solutions and improvement, not blame. Media and public statements, I avoid reactionary comments that inflame or distract the team. Public words are measured and purposeful. Honest feedback. I give teammates direct, respectful feedback that helps them get better instead of tearing them down. And consistency. I reread the 4 agreements regularly as a reminder. It's part of my mental routine to stay centered and accountable. When your words are impeccable, they become tools to shape reality. They reinforce habits, clarify priorities, and strengthen leadership. For an athlete or for anyone pursuing excellence, that consistency between what you say and what you do creates momentum you can't buy. Thank you, Tom. So, here's an exercise for you to practice so you can be more impeccable with your word. Choose something where you can create consistency between what you say and what you do, creating a momentum in your life that will bring the satisfaction that comes from excellence, from achievement, and from making a difference. So, it's Earth Day this week, so let's look at Mother Earth. Mother Earth is suffering right now. Our planet is warming. The amount of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere is increasing to levels this planet has not experienced in tens of thousands of years. Our wilderness areas are disappearing, bringing with them the biodiversity we need to keep our home healthy. And our population is growing at unimaginable rates, creating further stress and making solutions seem impossible. How bad is it? Well, I have a background in science and engineering, so I'm going to use statistics to show you. The figures are from a documentary called A Life on Our Planet by David Attenborough, which I highly recommend you watch. So in that documentary, in 1937, the world population was 2.3 billion people. Carbon in the atmosphere was 280 parts per million, and the wilderness remaining in the world was 66%. So 66% of the planet was wilderness at that time. By 1954, the population had increased to 2.7 billion people. The carbon in the atmosphere went up to 310, and the wilderness remaining 64. 1960, 3 billion people on the planet. 315 parts per million carbon in the atmosphere, wilderness remaining 62%. 1978, 4.5 billion people, a 50% increase just since 1960. Carbon in the atmosphere up to 335, wilderness remaining 55%. 1997, 5.9 billion people, carbon in the atmosphere up to 360, wilderness remaining 46%. 2020, when the documentary was made, 7.8 billion people, 415 parts per million. So that's almost a 50% increase in carbon in the atmosphere since 1937, and the wilderness remaining down to 35%. Population now well exceeds 8 billion people, and it's projected right now by the year 2100 to be 11 billion people. This is what the results are that they're that science is predicting right now is going to happen to the planet as a result of this growth. By the 2030s, the Amazon rainforest area will no longer be pumping moisture into the atmosphere, which is the source of rainfall around the planet. By the 2040s, there'll be a massive thawing of previously frozen soils, releasing huge amounts of methane, which is a much more powerful greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide is. By the 2050s, the last of the coral reefs will be gone, and fish populations will begin to drop. By the 2080s, pollinating insects will be disappearing at ever-increasing levels, causing a worldwide food crisis. In the 2100s, the Earth will be 4 centigrade degrees warmer than it is right now, and the breaking point where the human population cannot be sustained will be reached in that century. I'm inviting you to make a commitment to helping our mother today, to practice being impeccable with your word, to make a difference in our world. There are hundreds of actions you can take, and I just did a little research for local organizations that you can volunteer with, like the Mass Audubon Society right here in Newburyport. You can, they look for people for trail and habitat restoration, bird monitoring, event staffing, education, outreach, and support. And I'm putting them up there, yeah, and you can take a picture of that, or you can watch the replay and get the information on these organizations or take notes. The Ipswich River Watershed Association, they look for people to remove invasive plants or do river cleanups, trail maintenance, educational programs, and they have a Citizen Center water monitoring program. Essex County Greenbelt Association, they look for trail work and habitat projects, community events, land protection outreach, and they look for guided walk leaders to train and then lead walks. The Seacoast Science Center in Rye, New Hampshire, they look for interpreters and docents, beach and tidal pool education support, cleanup events, event staffing for spring outreach and family programs. Great Bay Estuarine Research Reserve, we call it the Great Bay Discovery Center over in Greenland, New Hampshire. And just a comment about Great Bay, it's this huge bay that 5 rivers feed into this bay, and then they go into the Piscataqua River out to the ocean where I live. And eelgrass levels in the Great Bay estuary between 2024 and 2025 dropped 80%. Eelgrass is a source for animal habitat and also oxygenating the water in Great Bay and also to prevent erosion. So they're going through a crisis right now. And they are looking for people for estuary cleanups, salt marsh restoration, including replanting eelgrass, citizens science monitoring, event staffing for spring workshops and school programs. And then there's the Blue Ocean Society for Marine Conservation, which I volunteered for. They do beach cleanups. They did one on Plum Island just last Saturday. So they're around this area, so you can look them up. And so you can go to their new websites, check their volunteer pages, and see what you can do. And we have a unique opportunity right now because we have spirit groups meeting. And I'm challenging these spirit groups to take on a project. It can be, related to Mother Earth. You can all volunteer together. Go to a beach cleanup together as a group. Do something like that. Take this community and bring it out into the world. Do the 5th unity principle, not just to know the truth, but to live it. We used to have, spirit groups used to be called Adventures in Faith here. And we had one Adventures in Faith group met for years after the book they were reading, they completed that. They stayed together and they did social things together and they met and they read books together. There's no reason why these spirit groups today can't do the same thing. And I'm challenging you to take on something with one of these organizations or something that you find that you can do to do that. The key is to be impeccable with your word, to just make whatever commitment you want to make. But if you make that commitment, you be impeccable and you keep to it. Take action with excellence, consistency, and love. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Just if we could all just do one little thing to make our planet better, we will make a difference. And another thing your spirit group can do is watch that video, watch it together. And you can go online and there's study guides you can buy. And you can do that study guide. It'll be like another book study. You can do that video. It'll change you. That watching that and watching another group will be even more powerful. And you can, and in it, he goes through his program, David Attenborough's program for how all of all those ugly stats that I read can be reversed. He's got a plan for it that he knows will work, and he reveals that in the video. Okay. So enough of that. I think you got an idea what the point is. And so what does all this have to do with the church? Well, it's the fifth unity principle. Yes, not enough to know the truth. We must live it and bring it out to the world. And to do that, we need to bring it into our hearts. Listen to the lessons of Tom Brady and listen to the stats and how it felt hearing those. And so we're going to do right now, I'm going to have Meg come up, and she's going to read our land agreement. It's an agreement that we as a congregation voted to support years ago. And we're supposed to read it regularly as a declaration for what we are a stand for in this community. So we haven't been doing it enough. So Meg's going to do it now, and then she's going to take us into meditation. Meg.
Unity on the River acknowledges Indigenous peoples as the original stewards of the land and recognizes the enduring relationship that exists between them and their traditional territories. The land on which we gather today is the traditional unceded territory of the Pawtucket, Pennacook, and Abenaki, and is the historic lands of the Wabanaki Confederacy. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced occupation of their territory, and we honor and respect the many diverse Indigenous people connected from time immemorial to this land on which we now gather. We will continually, as a community, seek ways to better steward this land and honor the Indigenous way of walking softly on Mother Earth. Now let us move into meditation to honor our Mother Gaia with a beautiful Sanskrit chant, Gaia Ma, which means sacred mother, perfect, complete, and blessed to us. And I'm going to teach you some hand movements to go with it. And the words are, let me find them so I can do this for you. Put your hands on your stomachs. You may want to stand for this. Try it out standing. For all of us, this generative place, Gaia Ma, the place of our bellies, our second and third chakras, where we have power and we create. And we hold there, Gaia Ma. And then we come to Namaste at our hearts, Om Shri Gaia Ma. And that means we bless you, blessed Mother Earth. And then Purnamada, which means the all, the complete, the whole. So we make the shape of the earth. And then in the cycle of being full and letting go, we say Gaia Ma as shake our hands as we let go. So let's start. Gaia Ma. Namaste. Om Shri Gaia Ma Purnamada Purnamada A little faster now. Om Shri Gayama Gayama. One more time. Om Shri
So, how do you feel right now? Is there a rush of energy or warmth in a particular place? What emotion seems to be dominant right now? Listen to your body. It is telling you something. What is it telling you? What action is your body telling you to take? Your body has great wisdom. Your body is the link to the divine, to all that is, to all that is known, to any possibility. Sink now into that bliss of that which is divine, that which is you, and listen. For 3 minutes, let us meditate in the silence.
Om Shri Gaya Ma Purnava Gaya Ma Gaya Om Shri Gaya Ma So just holding this energy and this beautiful, as they say in Sanskrit, bhav, the vibration of love that we feel right now, sending it to everyone, to Mother Earth, to anyone you may know who is suffering in your family or in your community, out in the greater world. We think of those in war, those hungry, those without shelter. We bless them. We send them love. And in this holy sacred moment, we want to put our beloved Martine in the center of our hearts. She has suffered a great loss in her family. Her brother Carl has unexpectedly passed away. So seeing our dear Martine and her family in the hands of God, held, loved, prayed over, and always, always in the presence with their dear Carl. And so it is. Oh. And now is the time in our service when we celebrate our abundance. We are so grateful we could give to Emmaus House this beautiful amount of money. More to come, much more to come. And thinking of that, let's hold our tithes and our tithes in our hands, or if we give by PayPal or Venmo, we hold them in our hearts. And we say the blessings of the tithes and offerings. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I've got everything that I need to be happy. I've got love and I've got laughter. I've got my community. We got the birds in the morning and the sweet blue sky. We got our hearts singing songs. We've got everything that we need to be happy. Oh, we got nothing if we don't have ourselves. And if we're not grateful for all God's graces, what good is money? What good is wealth? We got everything that we need to be happy. We've got love, we've got laughter, we've got what's left of our sanity in this crazy world. And we've got John on piano and Scott in our ear. We've got at Emmaus House and this incredible community, and all of us all here together in love. Thank you. We've got everything that we need. We've got everything that we need. We've got everything that we need to be happy.
So let us send us our blessings to these offerings. Know that they return to us tenfold, hundredfold, 1,000-fold in our blessings, in the work that we do, and the difference we make in the world. It all begins here with your giving. Thank you, congregation. Thank you, friends online. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen and amen.
Thank you. And we have our prayer for the children.
Okay, all right. I guess we're doing a prayer for the children first. For our children and all the children of the world. This is your world. This is your planet Earth that we're on. Look at the beauty that surrounds you. And let's take care of it together. All right? All right, we see all being clear, and we see the earth from afar, from up in the stars. We see this beautiful blue marble. Isn't it gorgeous? Go out and enjoy it. Amen.
And amen.
And now we have a special announcement from board member Michael Paolino.
Good morning. Am I on? I'm going to go through two things today. Hello? Yeah. I'm going to start with a story instead. You know, there was a guy that on a boat that was going along the ocean, and they came across a deserted island, and there was one man on it, and they rescued him. And they brought him back on the boat, and they were bringing him back. And as they were leaving, they noticed there were 3 huts on the island. And the captain of the ship said, "What are those huts for?" And he said, "Well, the first one on the left, that was my house." And he said, "And the second one in the middle was my church." And he said, "And what's the third one?" He said, "That's the church I used to belong to." So I'm going to talk about the security of the building really briefly, and then the history of this building, actually, really briefly. So the security of the building, just so a lot of people know, a lot of emergencies happen, and I know this is kind of, it's an ugly topic, but just so you know the evacuation routes of this building, if there's ever a disaster in the building, an active shooter, a fire, or anything, it could even be Lee shutting the windows, I don't know. But there are 2 exits in the back, and I think we both know those going out. There's another exit right here to the left. There's a staircase here to the left, if everybody doesn't know. Okay, you can always go down that, okay? So, make a decision quickly of which way to go, okay?
You have bad knees, though. Don't take this.
Yeah.
It's not. They're dangerous stairs.
And then downstairs, there is another exit in the back of the building, and of course, in the front of the building. Now, the security in the front of the building, we're going to divide the 2 greeters now. One is going to always be the door monitor and security, and the other one will be a greeter. Okay, so those roles are going to be divided now. Okay, so the front person will be, I think it might be Louisa or whatever. I don't feel safe giving her a gun, but Louisa, she did say a bow and arrow would be fine, but. I just don't want her hitting any of the neighbors' houses. So that's how we're going to divide those, okay? Also downstairs by the piano, when you go into the fellowship room, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a defibrillator right there. It's on top of the piano and behind there. So if we ever need that, everybody knows that's where that is. The other thing that I didn't know about after coming here for 3 years is if you look along the sides of the walls, if you notice over here and over here, there are panic buttons. I don't know if anybody knew there were panic buttons. There's also a panic button up here behind this, right here. So a speaker can press a button. Those buttons go directly to the Newburyport Police Department, and they will come here quickly. There's one at the front door. There's one in the fellowship room. There's one in the little training room that we have. There's one in the front room that we used last year where Shipley gave her talks in the morning. So there's panic buttons all through the building, okay? Just so we know all that. And I think that's it. You know, we just need everybody to know, you know, what to do in case of a fire, okay? So I want to talk quickly about the history of this building. You know, we come here all the time, and you know, I'm a real serious local historian. I really love local history, and you know, I was always intrigued by this building. I mean, it's quite a building. I think a lot of us know about the history of how Amesbury began. I know the story, as the story goes, Shipley and the Indians were walking up 110 together. and Shipley was looking for a church, but the Indians were looking for Dunkin' Donuts locations. So that's how we began. So, you know, obviously we came here, but this building kind of has a parallel history. You know, Newburyport was booming in the 1800s, the War of 1812, and, you know, the ships were being built, and, you know, basically the American Navy was here. And this was where the military of the United States really began. And it was loaded, Newburyport was loaded with great carpenters in the winters who had nothing to do. Hence why all those great houses are along High Street. And I mean, you do a great master carpenters everywhere. Matter of fact, not to get off subject, but a lot of the wood even had to come from England. They actually made them deliver wood from England. They wouldn't let the settlers use wood from here. They had to ship it over to make profit, which I find unbelievable. So a lot of these houses have wood that came from England. When it was booming, an original group of people from the Episcopal and Methodist churches in Newbury, which this was Newbury at one time, wanted to start their own church here. So they came and they moved, like there were only 50 to 20 members, which I find amazing because I always thought these churches were large in the past, but they weren't. There were 15 to 20 members. And they came to Newburyport and they were downtown. And they lost their church because of a fire. There was a great, great fire in Newburyport in the 1800s. After that, you had to build with brick for 20 years. That's why you see these random brick houses. Okay, that was an ordinance within 2 miles of downtown. You had to build with brick for a few years. And so that all began. And so they wanted us to have a larger church. So in 1865, they decided to build their own big church, which was this church. And so this was the Washington Street Methodist Episcopal Church of Newburyport. Okay, and they were here for quite a while. It was built by an Italian architect who helped design it. So that's an Italian design, this building outside and even on the inside. It's 8,600 square feet, the whole lot. Obviously, there's no parking, which we know a lot about. There were no cars, so you didn't need parking in churches. And, you know, there was a longtime minister here. Ironically, his name was Howard Wilkinson, a name that kind of is involved with this church. During this time, in parallel, though, a lot of Jewish families were moving to Newburyport. And they were down that called the Joppa Flats area, down near Water Street. Matter of fact, there was a public beach down there, not a pretty beach in the 1930s, I know. But along Water Street, going towards Plum Island, all the Jewish families were there. And they owned shops, and there were merchants on State Street and Pleasant Street for many, many years. They finally got their own charter to start their own congregation. And it was interesting, they came to Newburyport because they didn't want to go to Haverhill and Lawrence because you had to work on Saturdays. Because if you worked in the factories, they worked 60 hours a week. They were working on Saturdays. So in Newburyport, you didn't have to. So they came to Newburyport, and they eventually started their own church on congregation, I should say, on Pleasant Street. And then when this became available, the Methodist Church wanted to merge with another Methodist church because their numbers went down. they bought this church. Now it's funny, in between, they bought something on Liberty Street, and the owners did not want to sell it to people of Jewish faith. So they had the auction on a Saturday, but someone from the congregation went anyways and bought the church and then resold it to the church on the following Monday, which I find unbelievable. But then they bought this church in 1933. 700 people showed up that day, and they had a huge gathering here. And the Jewish community in Newburyport has occupied this ever since. And it's the longest running Jewish community on the North Shore of Boston. And one of the longest running ones in all of Massachusetts. And then it was taken over by the Unitics a little bit. The Unitics came in 2021 and came in here on Sundays. And there were hippies from Amesbury, and they came in, and so we've been here ever since. So I just want to let you know, so when you come here now, I want everybody to see the building in a different way, know the history of it, know what it was, and how old it is. Okay?
So, wow, what a service, huh? We have a lot to be thankful for, and a lot of volunteers that help. We have our the people who put fellowship together. Let's give them a hand. We haven't acknowledged them lately. And all of the people that do sound and streaming, Brian and Lee and Greg. Thank you, thank you. Of course, our greeters and our ushers. And our beautiful choir. Let's give a hand for our choir. Thank you so much for showing up every week. And of course, Scott Stringham today. Let's give him a hand. Here we go.
To clean my space. I'd like to read from the good book, The World According to Garp, Chapter 1. That's what we call my spontaneous humor. Thank you.
This was from An Inconvenient Truth. Does anybody remember that movie, An Inconvenient Truth? It woke us all up with Al Gore, and this is time to wake up, isn't it?
Have I been sleeping? I've been so still, afraid of crumbling. Have I been careless, dismissing all the distant rumblings? Take me where I am supposed to be, to comprehend the things that I can't see. 'Cause I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's gotta break up. I've been asleep, I need to wake up now. And as a child, danced like it was 1999. My dreams were wild. Promise of this new world would be mine. I am throwing off the carelessness of youth. Listen to the inconvenient truth. 'Cause I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's gotta break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up now. I am not an intentions trapped here in this passion. Oh, 'cause I need to move. I need to wake up. I need to change. I need to shake up. I need to speak out. Something's gotta break up. I've been asleep and I need to wake up now. I wanna change. I need to shake up. I need to speak out. Something's gotta break up. I've been asleep and I need to wake up now.
Let's all rise and join hands and sing, "Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me."
You are divine. You are impeccable. You can make a difference in the world just by being who you are and who you are here to be. Knowing this truth, we commit now to living our truth by committing to action and living into the sacred contract this day and for all time to come. And so it is.
The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is and all is well.
And
We are richly blessed.